Kuru was the name of a Vedic Aryan tribal union in northern Iron Age India, encompassing the modern-day states of Delhi, Haryana, Uttarakhand and western part of Uttar Pradesh, which appeared in the Middle Vedic period and developed into the first recorded state-level society in South Asia around 1000 BCE, corresponding archaeologically to the Painted Grey Ware culture. It decisively changed the Vedic heritage of the early Vedic period, arranging the Vedic hymns into collections, and developing new rituals which gained the position in Indian civilization as the orthodox srauta rituals, which contributed to the so-called classical synthesis or Hindu synthesis. It became the dominant political and cultural center of the Middle Vedic period during the reigns of Parikshit and Janamejaya, but it declined in importance during the Late Vedic period, and had become something of a backwater by the Mahajanapada period in the 5th century BCE. However, traditions and legends about the Kurus continued into the post-Vedic period, providing the basis for the Mahabharata epic history. The Kurus figure prominently in the later Rig Veda. The Kurus here appear as a branch of the early Indo-Aryans, ruling the Ganga Jamuna Doaba and modern Haryana. The focus in the later Vedic period shifted out of Punjab into the Doaba, and thus to the Kuru clan. The increasing number and size of painted grey ware settlements in the Doaba area shows this. These developments resulted in a substantial enlargement of certain settlements such as Hastinapur and Kaushambi towards the end of the later Vedic period. These settlements slowly began to acquire characteristics of towns. The Kuru tribe was formed in the Middle Vedic period as a result of the alliance and merger between the Backwater and Kuru tribes, with the center of power in the Kurukshetra region. The Kurus formed the first political center of the Vedic period, and were dominant roughly from 1200 to 800 BCE. The first Kuru capital was at Sandivat, identified with modern Asand in Haryana. Later literature refers to Indraprastha and Hastinapura as the main Kuru cities. The Atharvaveda praises Parikshit, the king of the Kurus, as the great ruler of a thriving, prosperous realm. Other late Vedic texts, such as the Shatapada Brahmana, commemorate Parikshit's son Janamejaya as a great conqueror who performed the Ashvamedha. These two Kuru kings played a decisive role in the consolidation of the Kuru state and the development of the srauta rituals, and they also appear as important figures in later legends and traditions. The Kurus declined after being defeated by the non-Vedic Salva tribe, and the center of Vedic culture shifted east into the Panchala realm, in Uttar Pradesh. In the later Vedic period, the capital of the Kurus was transferred to Kaushambi, in the lower Doaba, after Hastinapur was destroyed by floods as well as because of upheavals in the Kuru family itself. In the late Vedic period, the Kuru dynasty evolved into Kuru and Vatsa Janapadas, ruling over Upper Doaba, Delhi, Haryana and Lower Doaba, respectively. The Vatsa branch of the Kuru dynasty further divided into branches at Kaushambi and at Mathura. Society. The tribes that consolidated into the Kuru Kingdom or Kuru Pradesh were largely semi-nomadic, pastoral tribes. However, as settlements shifted into the western Ganges plain, settled farming of rice and barley became more important. Vedic literature of this time period indicates the growth of surplus production and the emergence of specialized artisans and craftsmen. Iron was first mentioned as Yamaras in the Atharvaveda, a text of this era. Another important development was the fourfold Varna system, which replaced the two-fold system of Arya and Dasa from the Rig Vedic times. The Brahmin priesthood and Kshatriya aristocracy, who dominated the Arya commoners and the Dasa laborers, were designated as separate classes. Kuru kings ruled with the assistance of a rudimentary administration, including Purohita, leader, village headman, army chief, food distributor, emissary, herald and spies. They extracted mandatory tribute from the population of commoners as well as from weaker neighboring tribes. They led frequent raids and conquests against the neighbors, especially to the east and south. To aid in governing, the kings and the Brahmin priests arranged Vedic hymns into collections and developed a new set of rituals to uphold social order and strengthen the class hierarchy. High-ranked nobles could perform very elaborate sacrifices, and many rituals primarily exalted the status of the king over his people. The Ashvamedha, horse sacrifice, was a way for a powerful king to assert his domination in northern India. Kuru family tree. This shows the line of both parentage and succession, according to the Mahabharata. See the notes below for detail. Kita symbols: male, blue border; female, red border; Pandavas, green box; Kauravas, yellow box. Notes: A. Shantanu was a king of the Kuru dynasty kingdom, and was some generations removed from any ancestor called Kuru. His marriage to Ganga preceded his marriage to Satyavati. B. Pandu and Dhritarashtra were fathered by Vyasa in the Nyoga tradition after Vichitravarya's death. Dhritarashtra, Pandu and Vidura were the sons of Vyasa with Ambika, Ambalika and a maid-servant respectively. C. Karna was born to Kunti through her invocation of Surya before her marriage to Pandu. D. Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula and Sahadeva were acknowledged sons of Pandu but were begotten by Kunti's invocation of various deities. They all married Draupadi, but she also had 5 sons, named Upper Pandavas. E. Duryodhana and his siblings were born at the same time, and they were of the same generation as the Pandava cousins. F. After Dhritarashtra and Gandhari's rule in Hastinapura, Yudhishthira and Draupadi ascended the throne, not Arjuna and Subhadra. The birth order of siblings is correctly shown in the family tree, except for Vyasa is born before Satyavati got married with Shantanu and whose birth order is not described, and Vichitravarya who was born after them. The fact that Ambika and Ambalika are sisters, a daughter of Kashinaresh which won by Bhishma in battlefield, not shown in the family tree. The birth of Duryodhana took place after the birth of Karna, Yudhishthira and Bhima, but before the birth of the remaining Pandava brothers. Some siblings of the characters shown here have been left out for clarity. These include Chitrangada, the eldest brother of Vichitravarya; Vidura, half-brother to Dhritarashtra and Pandu;